welcome back to Love Your Food. This week we have a beautiful summer recipe for you. This is the perfect season for this zucchini and tomato casserole. We got ourselves some beautiful tomatoes and some fresh baby zucchini, and they made this beautiful casserole. As you can see, it's also pretty cheesy, really, really delicious. And let's get going. We were going to start off with our ingredients. So we got these beautiful heirloom tomatoes. We have some zucchini, some mozzarella cheese, some garlic, some shallot, and just a little tiny bit of lemon juice. There's also going to be, as usual, salt and pepper to taste. And we're going to start off by doing a little bit of mise en place. So we're going to get our cheese grated, because we're going to be putting a little bit of the cheese in between each of the layers of this casserole. So you want to use the grater and get everything nice and processed here. There we go. So that's all of our cheese grated. And as I said, we're going to put these in between the layers as well as on top. So you're going to sort of spread that out. Now for the garlic, we are going to cut this just into slices. We're not going to chop it or mince it or anything like that, just into slices, but you want to get these as thin as you can. Really, really super, super thin, because we're not going to cut them any more than that. The same thing for the shallot. You want super thin little slices, and this is going to help just sort of make them melt into the sauce. They're going to, if you watched Goodfellas, it's going to help them really sort of just disappear and the flavor spread through the whole dish. Speaking of the dish itself, we do want to butter that, so we're just going to grease that up with some butter. And then we're getting ready to process our main veggies. So we're going to get our handy mandolin out, and we're going to make some nice long slices of the zucchini. Now, if you want, you can do this into coins as well, just into little zucchini rounds. We just wanted to do we wanted to do it sort of longer, like noodles, almost like a lasagna. And then we're just going to start layering some of those into the bottom of our dish. So we're going to start with a layer of the zucchini, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do the salt and pepper on every layer, but you do want to do it on at least the bottom layer and the top layer, and then the rest just to taste. A little bit of fresh cracked black pepper, and then a little bit of our garlic and shallot as well. Now, you can sort of get an idea based on how far up the side of the dish your first layer goes, how many layers you're going to have. So make sure that you're conserving your aromatics for that as well. Now we're going to take some beautiful slices of this tomato. You can see how meaty that is. Absolutely delicious. Fantastic heirloom tomato. So we're going to get some slices of that, and those are going to go into our casserole as well. Again, helps to have a super sharp knife for this. And don't worry about keeping them into whole slices. If you need to cut them up so that they fit, just do that. That's perfectly fine. Then on top of the tomato, we're going to put another layer of cheese, or we're going to put our first layer of cheese, I should say. And it doesn't have to be super thick. We're just going to let this sort of run through the whole casserole. And then another layer of our zucchini. We're going to keep doing that until we get to the top of our container and top of our casserole dish here. And then if you want to be fancy, you can make a nice little sort of weave on the top with your long strands of zucchini. And this is obviously not necessary. Again, a little tiny bit of salt and pepper. And then we're also going to add, now that we're on our top layer, we're going to add our lemon juice. And now this is just a little bit of acid to sort of perk everything up in there. The tomato is also pretty acidic, but they're very sweet at this time of year when you get those beautiful, super ripe tomatoes. So we want to just add a little bit more acid to balance things out, add a little bit more perkiness, some zing to that. And then we're going to cover everything with that last layer of cheese. So spread out our last layer of mozzarella. Again, it doesn't have to be thick. There's cheese all the way through there, and we're just going to spread it out. And for a little extra crispiness on top, we are going to also add a small amount of Parmesan cheese. We're just going to take that out with our microplane grater and give it a nice little dusting of the Parmesan on top. We get this nice rich flavor, a little bit more crispiness on the top, as I said. And then that's ready to go into the oven. So we're going to pop that into the oven. We checked on it after about half an hour. And you can see here, it is not quite ready to come out yet. The cheese isn't completely melted. And it's getting there. So we actually put that in for another half an hour. And after another half an hour, we got this. So everything was nice and melted. You can see it's bubbling up the sides. The veggies are all fully cooked. The liquid has really come out of them. And after that, we popped it under the broiler for just a couple of minutes to get a little bit more brown on top. And we have this beautiful brown cheese on top. Now, this is, as you can see, unbelievably hot. It's super, super hot. So you do want to let that cool down before you dig into it. We're just going to get a nice chunk of that. We're going to cut it out with our metal spoon here. Now you can serve this over rice. Obviously, there is a lot of liquid in there. It's a very juicy casserole. It is absolutely delicious. A few little chopped chives on top makes a perfect little garnish for this. And that's it. That's the whole thing. Really, really super, super simple. Absolutely delicious when you have the fresh ingredients. This time of year is perfect for this kind of dish. If you make sure that everything is local and fresh, you're going to have the best flavor for this kind of dish. So we hope you enjoy. If you like this recipe, please do like and subscribe. And if you have any recipes you'd like to see Chef Caleb try on the channel, please let us know in the comments below. And remember to love your food.